According to crypto firm NYDIG, hundreds of U.S. banks are asking for Bitcoin, planning to allow customers to buy, hold, and sell the digital currency through their existing accounts as soon as this year. For more details, let's bring in CNBC.com banking reporter Hugh Sun. Hugh, what had to happen behind the scenes in order for people to be able to access Bitcoin in their banks?
Hey, Kelly, nice to be with you. So there's a company called FIS. And so FIS is one of these, back-end providers to banks. They actually have about 300 million checking accounts through their thousands of bank clients. And so they service their tech vendor that serves a bunch of banks. And then there's also a Bitcoin custody company called NYDIG. And they're one of the companies like sort of a galaxy. So NYDIG has a deal with Morgan Stanley, for instance, to offer institutional funds to their wealthy clients. So you have some nascent players joining some established tech vendors. FIS is a $95 billion company market cap.
Yeah.
And they basically said, we're going to make it easy for people to actually own Bitcoin. It is, after all, a financial asset. And they've done studies that said basically, if people have the ability to own Bitcoin through their existing financial relationship, through the portal that they deal with their other money, their fiat money, if they're able to do that, you're going to have greater adoption. And so basically what they're going to have is as they turn this on, you're going to have access to clients, the customers of these community and regional banks that sign on for this. They're going to be able to go to their bank app and actually look inside their bank app and see crypto all right next to their other deposits and their savings as well.
So it's interesting, Hugh, because this raises a number of issues. I mean, number one, it's part of the bull case for owning Bitcoin, because the more that people have exposure to it, the more that you imagine that adds to the demand potential. Number two, does it undermine the success of places like the Cash App, PayPal, other platforms that have exclusively offered this in the past? It reminds me a little bit of how Zelle, the banking technology, has kind of become what Venmo once was in terms of sharing payments, although Venmo is still doing fine. So, there's a couple of big shifts that might be underway here. Just a third observation, though, is that a lot of the times you're dealing with Bitcoin, these are taxable events. If you sell it, if you use it to buy something, that's a taxable event. And I wonder, in opening this up to people, are they going to be aware of how many times using Bitcoin they're going to be facing tax problems? And I just wonder if there's enough awareness about that.
Yeah, Kelly, lots of great points. On your last point, there's going to be nowhere to hide if you've got Bitcoin and it's sitting in your bank account and you get your 1099 at the end of the year or in February or January, and it's going to show you that you've appreciated 200%, in the couple of bucks that you had in Bitcoin. So I do think, that's going to be something it's bringing Bitcoin into the light and into the regulatory framework, and that's probably a good thing. The other point I would make is, you talked about Cash App, you talk about, Square and PayPal, Robinhoods of the world, they've been providing access to Bitcoin for a while now. I do think this widens the pool of people who can, who are willing and comfortable to get this, because, there are people who aren't comfortable with signing up with the Coinbases of the world. And, this basically makes it a lower hurdle for them to get into it. And some of the products, we could talk about this down the line, that NYDIG is expected to roll out is essentially, you've got a bank account, it's FDIC insured, except your interest that you get paid in it, the yield actually gets paid in Bitcoin. Another example, sort of a play on that is, and this exists in the fintech world, which is if you've got a debit card and you're using it, obviously you've got rewards that paid out. Instead of getting those rewards in cash or in points, you're going to get them in Bitcoin. And so, if you look at this, Bitcoin obviously is the highest yielding financial asset of the past decade. It is interesting if you get these micro amounts of Bitcoin, and over the while they actually, they appreciate at the rate they have been, it could actually be, it could be a generator of value for people.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.